The Audi A3, Audi's bread and butter. Now in its 4th generation, this little rockstar over here has been an all-round dependable hatchback for many years, and even in a world where SUVs and crossovers are gaining much attraction, even overwhelmingly so. Well, my good friend, for the past 3 months or so, we've been living with this 2025 Audi A3 Sportsback in a Black Edition, and we'll be giving you the lowdown on what's it like living with this vehicle. First up, we take a look at all the looks and styling on this car. Then we go inside where I give you a tour and look at all the tech features. Then we take it on the open road where I give you my remarks, and then we close it off with my final remarks. Without wasting any further time, let's have a look at this car. What I neglected to mention there is that the Audi A3 is actually Audi's best-selling car ever. But with that, let's get into the looks of this baby over here. What you're greeted with is that very familiar fascia that we've seen in the previous generation car, but with a few tweaks, especially looking at those daytime running lights. The light technology has also been improved, as you know, Audi and their lighting technology. They went all in on this car and will actually show you what it looks like. You can choose from a different array of lighting signatures or daytime running light signatures that you want to implement on this car, just to give you a little bit of personalization. And then moving further down below, you can see that blacked out sort of like air vents on the sides there. And then moving to the center, you get a new grille with that L signature imprinted on it. And then you get the blacked out Audi 4 rings in here, just to emphasize on that Black Edition car. And then there's this sort of like pillar here in the center. I don't know what it's for, but right now it's holding the number plates, and then underneath that you get further air vents. Moving on to the side, you get blacked out matte wheels on this vehicle, and then you get a skirting on the side as well that gives that black coloring. And then the mirrors are all blacked out as well, also with a black carbon fiber finishing. The rear of the vehicle also has a bumper there in the center, blacked out Audi rings, and then there's a spoiler on it. It also has carbon fiber, which is really nice on this car. You get that blacked out moonroof on this vehicle, nice touch on the vehicle too. And then I think we can move inside where I can actually show you all the tech stuff and comfort in this car. And then just on the inside, from what you find from a comfort and a technology perspective, what I see in front of me is this Audi Sport line steering wheel. It has some breathable leather on the sides here, and then just plain smooth leather at the top and the bottom. There's the S lettering here at the bottom, and then some dials for shortcuts on the steering wheel itself, volume rocker, and different options actually that you can use or choose from to actually customize the bright 12-inch screen in front of me with all my instrumentals, showing me everything from a driver's perspective that I need to know, which you can also customize, like I said, with a button on the steering wheel. And then on the sides of me, flagged with some sort of like aircon vents, which is pretty nice. It gives me that cockpit feeling. And then there's this, I think it's a 10-inch screen right here in the center for my infotainment, where I can control and connect Apple CarPlay, Android Auto wirelessly in this vehicle. And then underneath that, there's some physical buttons, thank God, for my AC and everything else in between, seat heating as well. And then towards the rest of the dashboard, you get some leather finishing with some really neat stitching as part of the Black Edition package. And then you get some carbon fiber finishes here as well. And then on the side of the door panel as well. And then there's some LED lighting all around the vehicle. We'll actually try to show you what it looks like at night. Again, you know, Audi is known for their lighting, so it really comes through in this car. And then the leather seats here, very comfortable, sporty, kind of like seats that actually remind me of the RS3. That's the first time when I saw them. The rest of the vehicle as well. Space at the back is adequate for an average sized sort of adult, but if you're going to be sitting behind me, then it's going to be a struggle for you, because I'm like 1.9 meters tall and my seat is quite stretched all the way to the back. Boot space average in this vehicle, enough to carry our equipment and some bags for a weekend trip. But as all hatchbacks go, that's the most space you'll be getting from there. Again, you can collapse the seats to extend the boot a little bit if you really want to get more space in there and move some stuff around, which is perfect in that. And that's that from an interior sort of like feel. And then you get this moonroof as well here at the top, which is also very generous in this car. I really like that. And then you get all your standard safety features from, sensors all around, cameras in the vehicle, and some parking aids as well to assist you there in this vehicle, packed in. I really like that. Now let's focus more on the driving stuff. So now we're driving the Audi A3 Sportsback Black Edition. First and foremost, I just want to get the technicalities out of the way. The car is powered by a 1.4 liter engine that's good for 110 kilowatts as well as 250 Newton meters. In this car, because it's a Black Edition, there aren't any performance upgrades. It's only cosmetics on the outside and inside of the car, like we mentioned when we were talking about the looks of the vehicle. But from a handling perspective and comfort inside the vehicle, look, you still get these sort of, I don't want to say standard, but sort of like sporty feeling kind of seats from Audi inside this vehicle. Very nice leather finish on them. And then it feels very comfortable. It's a low ride, it's a hatchback, it's sporty. So all of that comes through. My only criticism will have to be the engine. The engine on this car, look, for daily driving, it's perfect, but as soon as you start getting adventurous, as soon as you start hitting a hill where you have a lot of inclines, then it really struggles. It doesn't have that power coming through that you really want from a hatchback. In the sense of responsiveness also, it tends to be a little bit delayed. Which of course I was comparing it to even the likes of the GAC, the GAC GS3 M Zoom, and that car for me performs better than this one even. Just to give you sort of like a comparison view, but from going back again from a comfort handling, this car does that perfectly, and I feel like it's just wasted potential. I guess rather save up for an RS3 or an S3 if you must, to get that proper, the feedback that you really want. But the car itself, look, it's a pleasure to drive for cruising. Touching on a bit of a fuel, we're currently averaging at about 14 liters per 100 kilometer, which is quite a lot, especially for a hatchback. But our driving primarily has been around town, around the city, and it still is quite a lot. We've had the A3 for about 2 months now, and we're yet to take it on the open road and get a proper feel for it, and also see consumption figures when you really driving it on the open road. But so far, look, it's been a pleasure to drive this car with those criticisms included, and those drawbacks that I really found annoying about the vehicle itself. I just wish maybe in the future there'll be sort of like a hybrid technology included in this vehicle, and potentially the 1.4 liter engine can, live up to what people would expect from this car. But that's that from a driving perspective. And then when it comes to pricing, this Audi A3 Sportsback Black Edition, it's priced at 830,000 Rand. That's quite a lot for a hatchback, but you're paying for a premium badge, and that comes with the territory. But I know there are other competitors you could potentially look at that come at a steal, but I feel like for the Audi brand to get into it, this is where we are, unless you get the A1 or look at something else, probably an SUV such as the Q3. And so we've come to the end of our time with the Audi A3 Sportsback Black Edition. It's quite a long name, but I've enjoyed this car a lot, despite all of its flaws. It looks great, it's a great looking car. But that's it. I hope you've enjoyed this review, again, as much as we enjoyed creating it for you. But please make sure that you actually subscribe to our channel to be the first one to know when we drop the latest content. Also, please make sure that you share this with your friends and family wide. But please leave your comments down below. I love your feedback, and we want to actually know what you think of this car and how we can improve our videos in general. But from myself, Papi Mabele, and Blue behind the camera, thank you so much for watching, and have yourself a pleasant one. Until next time.